Hey guys, I'm back real quick. I got off and I was done and I was like, okay, God, I'm done. He's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. I'm just gonna come back real quick. I hope it's like 10 minutes. But seriously, I was walking away and moving on with my life from this reading, which was really intense. And by the way, the previous reading, which was our karma and the Sermon on the Mount, was really hard for me to give. I want you to know I did not feel comfortable teaching that message. It was a very uncomfortable thing for me. I did it because I was called to do it. It was not something that I would have chosen on myself, for myself. Okay, that message was a burden to do. But I did it because I felt that it needed to come out. So I want you to know that this is a situation where I felt extremely uncomfortable. Anyways, sorry. So I just want you to know, that's not Stephanie's cup of tea. It's not the kind of message I like to give. It's not my channel's style, but sometimes they come out the way they come out. Anyways, this is an addition to that reading. And this is, you know, Spirit was telling me stuff. You did a real good job of telling people that they need to forgive and move on, and that a lot of these things weren't their fault, and to forgive and make peace. And that really was my message, to forgive and make peace. Not for them, for you, because karma is a boomerang. You get what you give. It's a law of attraction. And if you want to receive happy or good things, you have to let those things go. So that was a very good message for the people that have been hurt. But Spirit came to me to give me this message as well. What happens if you're the person that did the hurting? How does karma affect you? How is karma going to affect you if you're the one that did the dirty? You're the one that broke someone's heart. You're the one that lied and cheated and deceived. You're the one that left someone out of a contract wrongfully. You're the one that did some kind of damage, okay? Because remember, Spirit loves you too. So I want you to know that you are loved, and that if you are expecting karmic hell and suffering, it will be of your own making, because you have guilt, which actually makes you a good person. So Jesus or Spirit wants me to give you a message. One, if you have guilt and shame and remorse, you're a good person. If you have cried and lamented, I can't talk today, sorry, over something that you've done, you've already asked for forgiveness, but you still have to make righteous acts. The people that have been hurt, the only act they have to make is to forgive and let this go. That is their act. They have to physically cry, feel it to heal it, and let it go. That is an act for people that are on the receiving end of being hurt. But for the person that has done the harm, you have to go a little deeper. Not only do you, step one, you did good. You cried, you felt bad, you have remorse, and you have regret. That is step one. Good. You have a heart. You feel empathy. You have pain for something that you've done, and you wish to make it right. But now what? Because crying and asking for forgiveness over a deed that's been wronged is not, that's not it. That's not the way out of bad karma. Because remember, we always get what we give. Remember that little tidbit. And this is where if you have caused somebody some harm because you cheated on them and you left them, or you walked out on your children, or you abused your wife or husband, or you killed someone, you did something. Don't think that you're off the hook just by your tears at the altar. And this is again where a lot of religions get it wrong. They think just come to the altar and give it to God and you are forgiven. Remember, you need to go to God. Where is God? He's not at church on the altar. Spirit is not at church on the altar. He and she resides in every human being and life force. In order to make good, on something, you need to confront the person who also has God within them and seek forgiveness. Now, I don't know where it's at in the Bible. I wish I could find it like that. But it is, go to that brother or sister, or go to that person that you have calamity with. Go to that person and first seek forgiveness. Do something, make amends, make peace with that person. That person, did you hear what I said? That person, not the pastor down the street at the altar, not God in heaven in some, a spiritual astral place. Okay, spirit in that being. Make peace with that person. You have to go to them or reach out to them in some way. You can't run and tuck tail and make peace elsewhere by yourself. That's not peace. You have to go to that person. Otherwise, yes, the boomerang effect will come back, because those actions will be repaid with actions. Okay? Yeah, unless you can't legally, but you can still write a letter or put a viral message or post something in a newspaper. You can do something. There was a show, what was it? Because my kid's father was murdered. No apology, no restitution, no nothing from that asshole. My dad was murdered. No apology, no restitution, no reach out from that asshole. So I'm just saying, if you, and I have to forgive, and I have, but they are assholes. Have they come and lamented down here and say, I'm so sorry for what I've done? No. Have I forgiven? Yes. But what about their issues? That's going to be on them. That's going to be on them. And I don't know what hell those people are living. But until you make peace with someone who you've done something wrong to, I would expect a letter or a reach out from one of them. I don't give a shit if it's legal or not. There should be some morality. Reach out, even if in court, speaking out to everybody and saying how they feel about the situation. That would be enough for me. But there wasn't. So let me get back to the focus. I got distracted with a comment. I'm sorry. If you did something wrong to someone, you have to go to that person, says the Lord. You have to go to that person. You cannot beat around the bush. Make peace with God and not them. Because God is in them, you have to make peace. Otherwise, you will receive bad karma because you have not given peace to the situation. Your actions have not shown peace. When you do something wrong, it's more than just forgiveness of self and peace with the past. When you do something wrong, you have to do an action in its place. You know what I mean? Did that make any sense? I hope so. So what are the actions that you can do to make something right? I don't know, get creative. Maybe just an apology is good enough for some people. Maybe payment of something is good for some people. Maybe actions. Say you have children and you have walked out on them. Actions of repentance is good for some people. When you want to accrue good karma, you have to take actions. It's not just I'm sorry. Accountability. And that's how you can receive better karma. If you don't, you are going to receive continuous bad karma. This is going to come in the form of a loss of a job, loss of financial security, bad health, loss of dogs or pets or family members. Not because Spirit's going to come take them out. It's just you're going through a bad karmic energy where you're attracting loss. You see what I'm saying? Because you have basically pushed loss on somebody. And that was an action. You pushed loss on them. Now you are going to boomerang receive the loss. Every time you push the loss, you receive the loss. That's the boomerang effect. And that's why a simple repentance of coming to God moment is not good enough to clear up karma. Bad karma, that is. Because there's good karma, there's bad karma. Can you make up to those people? Yes, you can, in some way. It's never going to go back to perfect, but it can certainly make things better and at least balanced. I forgot the name of the show. I think it was called Courageous. I could be completely wrong, but I think it was called Courageous. And anyways, I'm trying to think of the movie. A police officer lost his son in a bike accident riding across the street, and some idiot driver ran over the kid in a moment of rage from some gang bullshit. And so an innocent child lost their life, and this person was sent to prison. The police officer couldn't forgive. He was really struggling with forgiveness. And throughout the movie, he meets someone that learns to forgive and shows him forgiveness. But the true act of that movie, and you should all watch it, it's a good movie, was when the murderer came. Wow, that is a terrible movie. Well, it wasn't greatly made. It wasn't a main movie like made in Hollywood. It kind of was corny, but it had a very good moral. And so anyways, he's in the church, and he's at this pastor's church that taught him forgiveness and love, and he was already forgiving. So he forgave what happened to his son. And the murderer came into the church, and he was crying, and he was so remorseful and so repentant for what he'd done. He came in and said, there's no way you could ever forgive me. There's no way that I could ever make what happened right. There's no way that I could ever justify anything that I've done and take away the pain, and there's nothing I can do for that, but I owe you my life. And I am so deeply moved and sorry, and what happened to you, know that I am destroyed. And what happened to you because of me, know that I have changed my life. He got really involved in some religious movement in the movie, whatever it was. He changed the way he dressed. He got out of gangs. He, really changed, the murderer changed his life. And he came in crying and just saying, God, forgive me. And I don't want God's forgiveness. I want yours. And the dad was standing there, and he was just, how dare this man step in front of me? I mean, I wanted to kill this man. I wanted to kill him for taking my son. I wanted to kill him. And here he stands, broken and sorry and completely repentant, changed his life, on his knees, completely remorseful. What can you do? What can you do? The man cried and hugged him. And they knew they could never take back the pain that happened, but they could build something else. They could build something else in the memory of his son and in the memory of that terrible moment. And they can be better people. And they did. They became, it was based on a true story. And they became lifelong friends. That man dedicated his life to that family. Whatever they needed. Whatever they needed. You need lawn mowing, I'll mow it. You need something in your house, I'll give it. Your wife needs a new car, I'll provide it. I mean, whatever you need, I'm in your debt. Those are the actions that need to be taken with bad karma. And that was extreme because it was a murder. But think about all the little things you might do that are bad karma. Coming to God on the altar in some church ain't going to do it, guys. It's not going to do it. You have to be remorseful. You have to be changed. Your actions have to reflect goodness. Your actions, because your actions did bad, they have to do good now. They have to be shown in a new light. That is the payment you must pay if you have done some bad deeds. Because if you don't change physically, emotionally, mentally, in every way, shape, and form in that karma that you've done, there is no rebirth. It's just a constant boomerang. Your actions were bad, you're going to receive bad. Your actions were bad, you're going to receive bad. Your actions were bad, you're going to receive bad. If you want to in a sense, right or wrong, it's not just an apology. It is a complete change of life and character. That is repentance. And if someone could Google repentance and look it up, I don't have another phone. But please put the definition of repentance, because repentance is far more than just remorse. Repentance is a complete change. And so I'm here to tell you that if you did do some act of terrible on someone, the only way your luck is going to change, the only way your karma is going to change, is if you change. And this is why Spirit says, if you change, you are dead and reborn. If you sacrifice your old self, you will be a new self. If you let yourself die and be reborn, you can change. You can be anew. You can be wiped clean, pure, purified. So see, it's not that you're going to be purified into a sinless, perfect being. No one is. But you will be transformed, and your wrongs can be made right in some way. Well, at least the karma. I mean, you can't erase what happened and make everyone happy, like it never happened. But you can start to make people happier than they were, the way you left them. You know, that good old saying, I want to come to this world and leave it better than I came in it. That's the same with karma. You may have royally effed up. You may have abandoned your children. You may have cheated and lied to your wife. You may have been a despicable, cheating, lying, drug-taking, law-breaking individual. You may be all those things. You may have done all those things. You may have caused more than a string of broken hearts. But you can make peace with those people. You can go to that child that you left abandoned and say, I am so sorry. I did so wrong, and I can't make up for lost time. But I want you to know that I have so much pain with tears in your eyes. You can't just fake it. You got to be there with tears in your eyes. On your knees. I am so sorry. I wish I could take that back. I wish I could change those things. But I can't. But what I can do is be in service to you. I can dedicate myself to you. Whatever you need, any hour, any time, call me. If you need any help, any advice, let me know. You can send cards and show up every time. You can send Christmas gifts even if you never get a response or they're sent back. Whatever you can do is start being there. Show up. Show up on those birthdays. May not have seen you for 10 years, but I'm going to show up anyways. Happy birthday. I love you. You may not get received, but at least you're doing it. You see the actions. This is when your karma is going to be better. It's up to them if they want to forgive and move forward or stay stuck in the past. But it's about now. It's about now. And that's where we can start to wipe away bad debt, is by starting today, okay? By being truly sorry. Even to the extent of divorcing your wife 20 years ago because you left her for someone younger. And you experienced some really bad karma, and that person left you for someone else, and you got taken to robbed to the bank, you lost everything. And now you got payback, you felt your karma. And now you're sorry. And you want to be repentant to your wife, even though she's your ex of 20 years. You can come and say, look, I royally ruined our lives. I can never erase 20 years of what we've done to each other, what I've done to you. But I want you to know that I love you and I am very sorry. You know, again, that tear that I just wish I could erase everything. But I'm in your debt. Whatever you need, I'm here. I am yours. Whatever you need. Till I die, I'm yours. I'm in your debt, and I care, and I'm here, and whatever you need, whatever I can be, I will be for you. That's that repentance, you know? It has to be with actions. And I'm not saying these debts are easy to pay. I'm not saying they're going to be a walk in the park. They may be a lifetime of service. But this is something that needs to be done. So, if you are looking for some kind of healing, and you are looking for repentance and karmic release, if you've done something in your life that you would like to be released from, and you know it was very bad, these are my suggestions for you, is to start doing things, not talking about it, but be about it. It's a time for you to show up. And it's a time for you to show what love looks like. And that is your karma. And you know, my advice to you is it's never too late. I don't care if it's a year or 20 years. It's never too late. It's never too late to establish a new life. So anyways, it's not up to you to make sure they forgive you. It's up to you to show now. And you know what? I want to say something that touched my heart. My kid's father's dad abandoned his mother and his sister and him. And from the story I heard. And he cheated, got another person pregnant, and then cheated on that person with another person and got that person pregnant. And just left a string of broken hearts and children. Before his father had him, he had 2 daughters, which he left their mother to be with my kid's father and make him and his sister. So he had about 5 families destroyed. My kid's father sought him out as a teen to have a relationship, and he was too busy, too involved in love affairs. And my kid's father was ruined. He did not know how to be a father. He did not know how to be a husband. He was a hurt individual with a very damaged inner child. And his mother was destroyed, never remarried, never moved on. She was destroyed for life. Heartbroken for the rest of her life. She also passed. But he destroyed that family on many, many levels. And his younger siblings were also destroyed in that manner. They experienced abuse. They experienced poverty. They experienced loneliness. They experienced fatherlessness. And it was pretty damn terrible. And did he send money? No. Did he pay child support? No. Was he there when they called? Not even. Did he come out and remember their birthdays? No. Christmases? No. They reached out to him. And then they became resentful. And at least I can speak on my kid's father's part. I met my kid's father and wanted him to make peace with his father. Not for his father's sake, but for my kid's father's sake. Because I saw how damaged he was. And how much he yearned for a father. And missed his dad. And had good memories of his dad. Because his dad was with him till he was 6. So he had a lot of good memories with his dad, and he missed him. And I knew there was hate and anger and pain. And I knew that if he didn't have forgiveness, he's going to suffer. And he did. He could not forgive him. And I don't blame him, because the dad never really asked for forgiveness. He did reach out to his dad, and when we had our son, my oldest, Danny, he reached out, and his dad and him spoke on the phone, and there was a good, happy conversation. But his dad did not apologize. And they hadn't spoken years. So he was angry and resentful and stayed away for some years. And that was it. And years later, I want to say not even 5 years ago, his father came back around, and he reached out to all his kids. He kind of had a come to God moment. He realized who he hurt, and it was his kids mostly. And he really wanted to apologize. He came to the States because he was out of the country. He was in Puerto Rico. But he came to the States and tried to be there, tried to show up at Easter, tried to show up at a birthday, tried to reach out to them on social media, on Facebook, trying to reconnect and tell them, I'm here now. I know I wasn't, but I'm here now. And none of them wanted anything to do with him. They could not find forgiveness. And even to this day, my kid's father's sister, their aunt, has extreme grudges and has a very hard time with forgiveness. But I just want to say that there was some good videos and pictures and memories, and my kid's father found forgiveness in his heart before he passed away, thank God. Murdered, should I say. But he found peace in his heart with his father, and it was beautiful to see them take a picture together and hug, and just that moment of, you were gone and you hurt me, but at least today I can hug you. At least today I can at least have a little comfort on that sting, a little neosporin on that cut. At least today I can start healing. And anyways, it was beautiful. And there's a picture of him, and he's, 28 years old, sitting on his dad's lap like a little boy. And it was his inner child. And he sat on his dad's lap, and he was hugging his dad, and he's like, this is my pops, this is my dad. And he needed that. He just needed that. He needed to feel loved. He needed to feel wanted. He needed to heal. And I'm so glad that all my years of encouraging the relationship, it took a long time. He was able to at least respond to his messages. For a long time, he didn't even want me to bring up his dad's name. Don't even say that man's name. He's a son of a bee and he's no one to me. I mean, that's how it was. But through time, it did help. Anyways, where I'm going with that is, my kid's father found healing in this reconnection with his father. He got to hug his father and kiss his father, and his father be there even for the last year of his life. He got to reconnect with him and have peace, because his father stood up. He was the wrongdoer, and he made attempts to fix that. And my kid's father was receiving. He put down the rock, opened his heart, forgave, and they both were the better for it. They can't fix all those years, but they at least found some comfort. And I just shared that story because he had been gone from his life for over 20 years. Over 20 years. And he came back. And they were okay. So I just wanted you to know that it doesn't matter if you're coming from a year ago pain or 20 years ago pain. Healing can be had with forgiveness and with repentance. But both have to be a team. So Healer of the Ages, Jesus wants you to know that if you both have that in your heart, pure of heart, you can see the good, the bad, and the ugly and love it. There will be healing and renewal and restoration, because he doesn't come to destroy, he comes to rebuild. And that's the story of the tower. It's the destruction and then the rebuilding, the death and the rebirth. And no one speaks about death and rebirth better than Jesus. So he came up today to say we can let those things die and move on. So if you did do some kind of wrong and someone has cried over you, it's time to make repentance. Your crying tears at some church altar aren't going to do it. Your tears in bed and praying to God and the universe, at the stars by yourself at night is not going to cure that. You're going to have to reach out to the people you hurt. And the only way you're going to be able to sleep at night, the only way you're going to be able to have peace and restoration and healing and abundance is by doing these things. And I promise you, the giver is the gatherer. It is the giver who gathers. If you are willing to give yourself in sacrifice to make something right, then you will be gathering so much more good. You'll get those hugs and that love and that understanding and that peace and that healing, and it will be so beautiful. So whether you have to make amends with your children or make amends with an ex, it's time to do the right thing. It's time, and you hear what I said, do the right thing, not remember that you should do the right thing or remember what the right thing is. It's to do it. It's time for you to do it. And that's going to be a burden, 10 of Wands, but you're going to have to pick up your karma and carry it yourself. You're going to have to carry your cross, and you're going to have to sacrifice yourself in penance for something. And I know that, you know, religion speaks quite differently, that you give it to God and he carries your cross. But Jesus is here to tell you something else also. You must also be like him. Follow in his footsteps. Follow me. Not let me do all the work. Follow me. Look at me carrying a cross I didn't have to carry. Look at me doing work I didn't have to do. Why? For love. Because I am love. And this is what love is. This is what freedom is. This is what rebirth is. This is what new life is. This is what power and glory is. Come with me and feel it. Feel what that feels like. Just feel what it feels like. It feels amazing. It feels better than anything else you could find in this world. And so, you know, to the message to someone that needs to do it, you need to do it. And I hope you are watching today. And I hope if someone did do some bad karma, you know what to do now. Whatever it is, go do it. They're waiting for you. I guarantee you, if you hurt somebody this bad, they didn't forget about you. I guarantee you, if you crush someone, they still remember and they're still hurting. I guarantee you, you were someone they remember. And I guarantee you, there's someone who's ready to receive your apology and your penance, because they want to heal as much as you do. Let's go ahead and get an oracle for the person that did some wrong. What is the right path for you? What is the right path for you? I'm going to do 3 sections. Spirits tell me 3. 1, if you did something to a child. 2, if you did something to a spouse. And 3, if you did something to a complete stranger. Let's just not say stranger. Let's just say friends, outsiders, you know, people that you're not emotionally invested in. Just people that are around you, people that you've seen or met, you know. Let's see what karmas that is. What is the right path for you if you hurt a child? What is the right path? What can you do? If you hurt a child, what can you do? What can you do? Like there's 2 things. What can you do if you hurt a woman or a man, a significant other? What can you do if you have hurt a significant other? Well, that was loud. And what can you do if you hurt someone else outside of your circle? Or just in your circle, but not intimately. You know, friends, distant family members, co-workers, etc. What can you do? Okay. Bottom of the deck, we have Hilarion, another master, ascended. Very wise, very spiritual. This message comes from the wisest of the wise, okay? An ascended master that knows much, much like Jesus, okay? If you hurt a child, here's what you need to do. We have the bird's nest. Three of Forces. By the way, that is Three of Swords. And then we have the Queen of Roses, which is in reverse, which is the Queen of Cups. You need to give love and affection. You need to sacrifice your own feelings for theirs. You need to literally cry in penance over this. You need to hug your child. This is the Queen of Cups is Cancer, Cancerian. What is that? The mother of the zodiac, the nurturer, the giver, the lover, the affectionate sign, the one that is ruled by the moon. Okay? So this is what you need to do. You need to be loving and nurturing and giving and kind and affectionate. You need to shower this child or children with love. And if they're a grown child, you still need to shower them with love. I told you the story of my kid's father who sat in his dad's lap as a grown man. Don't tell me he didn't need a hug and a kiss and to be sitting in his dad's lap. Don't tell me he didn't need that. Everyone has their inner child, and especially children. They need to feel that love. That's where you start. And then with the bird's nest, there is a mother robin with 3 babies. Maybe you have 3 children that need your penance. Maybe you have 1, it doesn't matter. Maybe you have more than 3, but there is children that need you to serve them. You know what? I saw this message today. I saw a robin on my deck. And you need to go out there and get that worm and give it to those babies. Give it to those children, or give it to those adult children or child, whoever, okay? You need to go serve. You need to go be there and be present. This robin is present. She built a nest, so you have to provide financially for your children. You need to give them financial security. You need to give them emotional security. You need to give them love and warmth. You need to give them your heart and the good side of you. You need to show them the good side of you. And I will read that just so you know that I'm not full of crap in my messages. But that's what they need, and that's what you need to do. Okay, so I guess I'll start with the Queen of Roses. This reversal reveals some disharmony and conflict with a woman in your life, which could be the mother. Clearly, if you hurt children, you hurt their mother. And the children want you to be, and I did forget that in the message. They want you to be nice to their mother, be cordial to their mother. Okay? You need to be nice. Or if it's a father, you know, you need to be a nice, loving, kind, sensitive person. That's important to them, because that mother or father was left raising them when you were gone. And that person deserves your respect and your kindness and your gratitude. Anyways, this says disharmony in a conflict with a woman in your life. It could also be a family member or a lover, which we know it's the children. Okay? Make sure that you stay centered and calm. Be empowered. You may be able to resolve a situation with clear communication. Clear communication. The reversed Queen of Roses can also represent you or a woman you know who is stepping out of the role of a mother or wife, which is what's going on. Okay, if you've hurt children and you're the mother, you stepped out of the role of a mother or a wife, but this is definitely children, okay? If you are a father and a nurturer, you stepped out of the role of father. That's what it says. And it says, you may no longer resonate with the family situation and you felt it was time to let go. But it's time for you to process your emotions about this and deal with the grief that comes up from the separation. This is a cycle of transformation. As you let go of those who are not fully present or honoring you, you will find that you're opening up to your life to the loving care you truly deserve. Finally, this card indicates a deep gash in your own self-love, a history of not loving yourself. An attitude of extreme self-hate and loathing is happening, and extreme self-care is required. Make your own self-love a genuine priority. The universe will respond with far greater love in your life. I also got an additional message. If you left a woman and children for another woman, you got to drop her like a hot tamale. You got to make your peace with that person and say, this is what I did. You either, well, you don't have to drop her, but you have to come clean. You have to say, look, I cheated, lied, disrespected, and abandoned my family for you. And that may be ugly to hear, but that's the truth. And you can stay, but I will make amends to these people. I will be friends with them. I will be there every holiday and birthday. I will be there every time I get a phone call or a text. I will support them financially in any way I can. I owe them. And you can stick around for that or go, but that is where I'm at. And then you're going to have some karma to clear up with that person, aren't you? You're going to have to tell that person, I'm sorry I drug you into this. Let's get real. I got infatuated with you. I felt like I was falling for you. I was sexually driven here. I'm sorry I hurt you, but I did genuinely want to be with you. And I did leave and sacrifice my family for you. And that was wrong. But I want you to know I genuinely wanted to be with you. And if you want to stay with me and be with me to make this right, we can all be okay. But I understand if this is all a news to you, it's all lightning, it's all, you never knew this. I understand if this is too much to deal with, but this is the truth. This is the truth. And that's being a man and growing up. And if it's a woman, the shoe on the other foot. You just reverse the sexes. You know what I'm saying? It's about getting honest with everybody and being very clear. And that is going to be how to deal with clearing the karma for your children. Because your children had nothing to do with your personal relationship. And if they were abandoned or rejected or neglected in some way, and you have to get honest, number one, completely honest with the child or children, their mother, and the current person, or the father and the current person you're with. You have to just get real and get very raw. Get to the nitty-gritty of the ugly of the situation, and that's how the healing can begin. And then you have to dedicate yourself into penance. I personally, and you guys can judge how you want, feel that children come first. If someone has to be dropped, it should not be the children. And I also feel it's karma. If someone wants to make right for their ex and their children and the person is left butthurt and in the dust, it's their karma for being a part of the problem. That's only for people that have been a part of the problem. If there's a third party that knowingly seduced this person away, that knowingly caused problems, if there's someone that told them you can't see your kids or I don't want you to do right, then that person deserves no explanation. Karma simply will be, I messed up with them and I'm going back to do right in whatever way I can. Goodbye. I mean, that's just karma. There's no penance that you have to do for that person because that person is getting what they deserve. You can, just say, look, we're in a mess and I'm going to fix it. It's been nice knowing you and it was good while it lasted, but I've changed. Have a good one. I mean, really, it should be that. If you're ready to be really remorseful, you can't serve two masters. You can't serve the master of sin and darkness and wronghood and serve a master of justice and righteousness and doing the right thing. You cannot serve two masters. This is where that choice has to be made. And didn't we have that card? We did somewhere, and I don't know where I put it. Is it? It was the Two of Swords. I don't know. Whatever, it was there. You guys thought. Oh, there it is. You can't serve two masters. So anyways, if you want to make it right for a child, you know what to do. You know what to do. You're either going to pick them or you're going to pick something else that you left them for. And that's your choice. But expect karma. Because remember, the penance, you get what you give. It's the boomerang. You abandon, you will receive abandonment. You give lack, you will receive lack. You do not nourish these children or care for them, you will receive financial ruin. You do not give heartfelt, genuine vulnerability, you will not receive it from the current partner. You see how that goes? That's karma. That's a hell of your own making. So anyways, that's just how it works. If you decide to stay away and never reclaim that karma and make it right, then I'm not going to be surprised if your life falls apart. I wouldn't be surprised. These, again, are for people that want to do the right thing. You either do or you don't. No one here's making you, and I'm just telling you what's going on. So we're going to read the bird's nest and what to do right for the children. A strong, sturdy nest cradles a family of birds. As the babies are fed, this card represents a new life, creativity, and expansion. When you receive this card upright, it's a signal to focus on starting this new thing and expanding. Perhaps this is your family. You may need some effort. The nest has to be built. This is going to take time. Rebuilding trust, rebuilding a relationship, healing old wounds. But these children will be forthcoming, and it will be renovating your home or renovating your family, which is what's going on. You're rebuilding your family. Whatever it is, it's worth the effort. The expansions you make will bring you great joy, like 3 of Cups, happiness and celebrations. So again, just rebuilding that nest, rebuilding that family, rebuilding that connection. Am I saying you have to go rush back in a relationship with the mother of these children or the father of these children? No. Maybe they don't even want you back. But what I'm saying is you do have to be right. You do have to be kind, sensitive. And if you genuinely do have a heart and you are genuinely remorseful for hurting the mother or father of those children and abandoning them, then you should feel sad and your heart should change. It should be reborn. Your heart should be transformed, and you should still have feelings and at least remorse for what you did to that poor person, because they didn't deserve that. And so there's some suffering that does need to be made right. Even if you're not in love with that person anymore, whenever you are repentant, your heart changes. It's like the Grinch who stole Christmas. His heart was 3 sizes too small. And when he felt love, it grew 3 times bigger than a normal heart. And so you may have left this relationship before not loving them or feeling some discontent or resentment of some sort. But if you've been refound and reborn in your repentance, your heart will have changed. And you will have been a new person. And you will feel the genuine love that is still there. If there is genuine love, because I'm not saying there is. For some relationships, there is not genuine love. But I have a feeling that this Queen of Roses really did love you. I have a feeling that that guy or that girl really loved you and is very heartbroken and traumatized about the abandonment of him or her and their children. So there's going to be some penance. Okay, and that's with children. Let's move on to relationships. What if you hurt someone in a relationship? Okay, children aside. Children aside, you hurt someone, broke their heart unfairly, unjustly, and wrongfully. You created bad karma on yourself because you hurt someone that loved you and did not deserve that. So what is this? What should you do? The War of the Roses. Wow, we just had, I did this series, what, a few days ago? Check my videos, War of the Roses. Great reads. Please go there and watch. You'll probably find a message in there that might touch you. But the War of the Roses, as you guys know, is the Yorks in England trying to rule, and then the Tudors trying to rule. Both of them wanted to rule England, both fighting and having bloody wars to claim the throne. And then there was a marriage alliance, a York and a Tudor. And therein became the War of the White Rose and the Red Rose, and then they have a red rose with white inside of it. That was the marriage of the Tudor and the Yorks. And so anyways, if you want to fix a situation with a spouse or a lover that you harmed, the advice is to stop fighting, to make peace, not war, to humbly ask for that forgiveness, to humbly step down from the throne, and say, I do not want this throne. I don't want this crown. It's rightfully yours. I don't want to fight anymore. I surrender. I quit fighting over who's right and who's wrong. I quit fighting over hurting you and harming you, and I'm stopping the pain right now. And let's read that. This is asking for forgiveness. And by the way, 6 of Roses is 6 of Cups. So this is about healing a relationship from the past. So let's read that real quick for you. A relationship has broken for you. The conflict disrupted your whole life, your work, and perhaps even other relationships that you've been in. You may feel great loss and sorrow. That's karma. But it's important to see the situation for what it really is. Though your emotions have kept you involved or uninvolved in trying to avoid them altogether, you have been in love or attached to an illusion. Be honest with yourself about the type of person who is represented here and the type of person you are. If you have broken someone's heart and left them trashed and ruined to go have love with another, to go be in a relationship and basically ride off into the sunset and experience true ultimate love, yet your karma is that of breaking the heart of some poor individual that did not deserve that. Maybe they have sacrificed blood, sweat, and tears in a war with you that they lost unfairly, like someone trying to steal the crown, someone trying to steal the throne, unrightfully so. And that's what's going on here, is an injustice, trying to make an unjust situation right, trying to bask in the limelight of a crown and a throne that is wrongfully taken, which basically is riding off in the sunset with another person. That's wrongfully taking the throne and wrongfully wearing a crown while someone else is rightfully supposed to have that spot. Now, I'm not telling you who to love, but I am saying you have to make right what you did, because that person is now broken and ruined. So it says here, do not fool yourself and think that you are Prince Charming, when clearly you are King Henry VIII, or Queen, okay? But you know King Henry VIII, guys, you know that story. That was a guy that chopped off a lot of his wives' heads. The Boleyn girl, he had 2 sisters, and then he got with like other people, and God, he had multiple wives. Queen Catherine of Spain, he divorced her for lust, to go after somebody else and make her queen, and he had a very bad appetite, and he thought he was just going to roll off into the sunset, hurting all these people. No. And didn't he die of some STD? I don't know. So I don't know what he died for, but I know he had STDs. I know he had syphilis, and he had rashes and nastiness. He was not good looking, and he was really overweight, and he was just yuck, man. He didn't have a good life. Bad karma, buddy. Bad karma, King Henry VIII. You hurt a lot of people. Anyways, so if you did do this and you hurt some poor person in a relationship that did not deserve to have, for a lack of better words, their head cut off, okay? So you could go bone the next chick or be with the next guy, okay? If that person did not deserve to be shamed publicly, because the Boylan sister was shamed and told she had an affair, and she did not. She was completely loyal. But the real cheater was the one doing the accusing. So if you are a cheater and a liar, and you have shamed someone, publicly humiliated them, dethroned them, take them out of your life, and basically just tossed them as waste, and they were left crushed because they sacrificed their life. Maybe they sacrificed their children to this. Maybe they sacrificed their pets, their home, their family. Who knows what sacrifices were made on behalf to be with you. But they did some sacrificing, and you have shunned them. Do not think you're going to ride off in the sunset, King Henry VIII. Because the flag has shown that your spirit directs your feelings, and it finally flies high above the entire scene. Its tattered displays show the efforts you've made. You're finally free from what was left you wounded. So clear the battlefield. Your new life awaits. You're going to have to go back and make right. I know that sounds unjust because everyone's like, but I want what I want. I don't want that. You know, I'm not saying this person's even going to take you back, or that you have to go confess love to them that you don't have. But again, let me repeat myself. If you are truly sorry and repentant for hurting somebody that you were with, for disrespecting them, shaming them, humiliating them, causing them grief and loss, how could you not have a heart? How could you not be in love or have loving feelings towards someone that has done nothing but cry and be in pain over you? How could you not have humility or sympathy or empathy, if not love, for someone that has suffered so? Just for loving you, they suffered. For loving you, they paid a price. How could you not find that attractive? How could you not find that remarkable? I mean, maybe you can't. Maybe that person is really in a dark, bad place and hateful and resentful, and there's no way you could ever be with someone that's like that. Maybe that person is critical and on a vengeful streak. And I'm not saying that you have to go back to someone that is all of those things. I'm not saying go back to a total bitch or an asshole, because nobody wants that, even if you are sorry. But maybe you can change the lives here of the both of you, and you can come back and apologize. Flowers are a good start. We have roses. By the way, roses are over here too. Roses are in order. Let's just be real. Let's be pretty, blunt. If you did some bad deeds, it can't start to hurt with roses. Roses, a heartfelt apology, tears, kneeling, penance, respect, kindness, understanding, time, hearing them out, hugging them, holding them, affection. We are talking about cups here. Cups mean tears, literal water leaving your body. That is remorse. Tears, yes, you betcha. Tears are in order. So is affection and emotions, genuine from the heart. Genuine. Not fake ones because I'm telling you to do this on this channel, but real ones from the heart. I want you to really look at the situation and really see what happened and make some kind of justice here happen. Telling this person, I was really wrong. I hurt you and I embarrassed you and I humiliated you and I shamed you, and what can I do right? Oh, let's talk about public announcement. I wrongfully shamed and hurt so-and-so. I have come to the light and seen my wrongs, and I just want everyone to know that anything that was ever said about this person was a lie. And I feel I need to come clean and tell everyone that I was not honest when I spoke about what happened between us, and I was not honest about what happened when I hurt this person and how much pain and abuse this person has endured. Now, keep in mind, I'm not speaking about a future event that's going to take place. And if you love a narcissist asshole, I'm sorry, that does mean you're codependent. It does, and that needs to change. But I am, and any therapist and psychologist will tell you that. Narcissists are attracted to one type of personality, and we know what that is. So there's no changing that. They're not attracted to strong people. They go after the weak. They prey on lives, and this would be them, the narcissist asshole that needs to make this right. Will they ever do it? I don't know. Is everyone that hurts someone in a relationship a narcissist asshole? No. 1 out of maybe 1,000 would be a narcissist. The other people here are just normal guys and girls that got selfish, inconsiderate, and that's it. They did some bad things. And they need to make right. They got selfish, they got over-sexualized or over-eager about money, financial materialism. Whatever their needs were, it was purely selfish. And the point is, it's if you, and I'm talking to those people, not you guys. This message is not all the poor people that were hurt. This is a message about the people that hurt you. What do you have to do? To the people that are watching that you caused bad karma on someone, what do you need to do to start receiving some good karma? What do you need to do to finally have some money in your bank account? What do you need to do to stop getting flat tires? What do you need to do to stop losing your vehicles? What do you need to do to stop finding yourself in separations and arguments and fights in every relationship you're in? What do you need to do to start receiving some good karma and stop having bad health scares? What do you need to do? These are what you need to do. You need to go send some roses, apologize, get on your knees and cry. You also need to offer yourself as a sacrifice. What do you need? What can I do to make this right? If that person is kind of a weirdo and says, I want you to marry me, that's sick. I'm not saying go, you don't want to be with some codependent psycho like that. Oh, marry me. I'm not saying that. But if someone says, thank you, I'm really happy that you apologized to me and you mean it. I would like nothing more than a friendship. I don't have to see you every day. You don't have to text me, but I would like nothing more than to wave at you if I see you, or say hello if I see you in a store, or, just cordial. Some people just want cordial. Just treat me nicely. I would like nothing more than that. I just don't want bad vibes. Some of them, you may want to come back with them. You may be changed and transformed, and your heart may be reborn, and you may want them back in your life, and you may have to really earn their trust and love again, and you have to be willing to do that. Or if this is the mother or father of your children, and you're making peace with that Queen of Roses, or it's a male, then you're going to have to really be really nice to that mother or father. I don't know what skit I saw, but there was a skit, and there was a man that it was Mother's Day, and he wanted to give, the mom invited the dad, who was already divorced, tickets to Disneyland to go with their son to Disneyland for Mother's Day. And she said, I really want you to go. And he said, don't you know we're divorced? Stay out of my life. Don't involve me. That's your day. I'm not part of this. I have my own life. And the son said, Dad, would you please come? He said, no, I'm sorry, but your mother and I are divorced and we no longer share lives. She doesn't need to know my business, and I don't need to know hers. And then he met someone that was the opposite of his personality, and he went over and said, hey buddy, you want to go out? It's Mother's Day. It's for the girls. Why don't you and I go out and get some drinks? And the other guy said, no, I'm actually taking my ex-wife and my son to Disneyland, and he was like, what? Aren't you, you're divorced. Why are you bothering doing anything for that woman? And he said, I'm not doing it for the woman. I'm doing it for my son, because I'm going to show my son what it's like to be a man, what it's like to treat the mother that gave birth and life to him respect, what it's like to treat women. And I want to show my son what it's like to be kind. Everything I want my son to be, I need to show him. I need to show him what it is to be a good man. And I may not be in love with his mother anymore, but we have a friendship. And I'm not seeing anyone that minds. So I am going to go with them to Disneyland. And, you know, I'm going to make them both happy, because she deserves it and he deserves it. Now, if you ask me, they would fall totally back in love, because any man that has balls like that, they deserve everything. But, you know, in the little clip, it just showed the mother thanking him and just really being a good friend to him and saying, you are amazing. And that's the kind of ex-wife that would totally be your friend and support a new relationship with you if you met someone, and just a real open, loving family dynamic of an open family, loving relationship, all for the best interest of the children and each other, respect for each other. And that is the way to be. Not we're exes, so we're enemies. But we can be friends, if not really good friends. And I think that would be a start of penance. Now, if you don't want to be friends with someone, understandable, because if you don't know them that well, you know, you only were with them for a year and you hurt them and you just want to move on with your life and you want to apologize and just move on, then yes, tell them you're so sorry. Give them flowers and roses and let them know that it was not them, it was you. And let them know that you're not looking for a relationship right now. You don't want anything, but you're really grateful for ever meeting them, and you just want them to know that you were going through some very difficult times in your life, and you would like nothing more than to wish them extreme happiness, and if they ever needed anything, that you would be there. You know, that's the right way to say goodbye to someone. You don't have to be a jerk or be to say goodbye to someone, but that's making it right after hurting them. But if, you know, you share children, that's a whole nother ballgame. You're going to have to be very good to that person, because they're still the father and mother of your children. And if you're not right to them, then that's more karma. It just is. So that's what happens if you hurt someone in a relationship. You really need to make it known that it was on you, that they did nothing, and you were going through something and you're extremely sorry. Cry, have a dinner, whatever, just, you know, don't lead them on if that's not how you feel. If you feel like you want them back, then yes, by all means, you know, go ahead. But the most important thing here is clearing up your karma. And that is by really showing someone that they are worthy. Showing them what you should have shown them a long time ago, which is maybe respect, honesty, some flowers, or just a kindness of giving them your time. Maybe you're always rushed. You never gave them the time of day. They're owed that. They are owed your time. They are owed whatever you did wrong to them. Believe me, they are owed. And if you owe them money, you better pay them back that money. That is one thing I stand by here. If you have taken financials from the mother of your children, father of your children, or a lover, and you've hurt them just terribly, destroyed them, you have bad karma, and you owe them money, oh boy, you can't just come back sorry and crying. You owe them money. So whether you have to pay it off in payments or do favors, I would definitely pay them back what you took. That's just good karma. It's good karma. It's to take care of your debts. You got to take care of your debts. And so that would be one thing. You don't want to leave this earth owing anybody anything. You don't want to leave owing, okay? So that is one thing to do if you're in a relationship with someone. Just pay them back what you owe them if you do, and give them the respect and time they deserve if you never gave it, and really seek out that apology and forgiveness. Really let them know that you were going through something and it had, you know, was nothing to do with them, and you feel terrible for what you did, and you wish that you could take that pain away and had it never happened, but you can't. And the best thing you could do is tell them you're on a healing journey and you want to make things right. And whatever they need from you, you'll be there. Does that bother you? Yeah. Does that affect your future life? Yeah. But that's your debt. You owe them a debt. Until that debt is repaid, you are in their penance. Or how do you say, like, you're in their debt. You're in their debt. And you really are in their debt. Okay? And so this is really just moving forward, paying off your karma by being kind and being loving and being just. And these things need to be done. Lastly, whatever was done in secret needs to come out. It might as well come out from your mouth. So speak loudly about the truth. Let everyone know, blast it on social media, post a video on YouTube, tell your family members, you know, your brothers and sisters and your mom and dad, your older kids or whoever's involved. Tell them what wrong was done to those people and let them know who and what you really are. It's about coming clean and being purified. Letting the new people you're with know what you really did. It's about being raw and vulnerable and honest. Okay? So that is that. If you've been in a relationship, what if you hurt somebody? Okay, just someone out there that you're not emotionally, you know, intimately connected to. Maybe you hurt a neighbor, maybe you hurt a friend, maybe you hurt a coworker, maybe you stole money from someone, maybe you did something wrong, said whatever it is. This is Archangel Gabriel in reverse, and Gabriel is the awakening. So he blows the trumpet, he awakens people. This is just getting honest. Very simply. Get honest with those people, or whoever that could be. Tell them what you did wrong and fix it. You want to fix your karma? You got to get honest. I stole this from you, you know, and I've been hanging on to it and I want to give it back. And I lied about you and said this thing about you that wasn't true, and I'm sorry. Or I spread a rumor about you that wasn't true, and I am very sorry. And I just want you to know that it has affected me even years later. And if there's anything I can ever do for you, please let me know. And please accept my apology. This is much less brash. You see how all the emotions are here with fathers and mothers of children and intimate relationships. You see how the roses are there, which is the cups. A lot of emotion. You have to be really emotional with those intimate people. But when it comes to just friends or just people, just be honest. You know, I'm sorry I lied to you. I'm sorry I hurt you. You were my buddy for 10 years. And I lied about you to everyone and said something about you, and I ruined some of your relationships, and damn it, man, I was an ass. I was full of it. I'm on a healing journey now, and I want to fix that. I'm in your debt. If you want to move, if you need help with your deck, if you need help picking up a new lady or a new gal, a new guy, let me know. I owe you, and I just want you to know how sorry I am for damaging your life in some way and how absolutely embarrassed I am. What a childish person I was. And I just want you to know that I've changed. And whatever harm I caused you, God, I ask that it's forgiven. Because I have seen the light. I have had a wake-up call. And I just want you to know that I have recognized my wrongs in this situation. And I would like nothing more than to fix that between us. You don't have to be my friend ever again, or, you know, maybe it's a brother or sister. You don't have to be buddy-buddy with me, sis or bro, but I just want you to know how bad I feel. And I'm here if you ever need me. You know, just putting that out there clears some of your karmic debt because you actually made a difference. If you owe your brother or sister money, pay them. If you owe your friend money, pay them. If you just owe them a public apology, give them that respect. Whatever it is. You know, it's very nice. And on all of these notes, if you make an act of remorse in front of a group of people, and that's just a good rule of thumb for everybody. Maybe call for them. Say, I would like to say something to you in front of your mom and your dad and your children and your siblings, I would like to say something to you. Can you meet me at a park? Or I'm going to send you a live video, a Skype or a YouTube. Considering right now we're in lockdown. But, you know, have a live something and say to everybody, I want you to know that I did this woman wrong. That I hurt my son or my daughter, or I hurt my lover, or I hurt, you know, whoever the name is of that person. They did not deserve it. I took advantage. I was cruel. I was heartless. I was selfish. I was only thinking of me. Or I was thinking about someone else, which was very unfair. I've met people that have hurt a mother and children for the sake of their child. Even though they shared a child with the other parent, they forsook them for one other child. Completely unfair. So there are situations where you choose one person over the other, and you think it's some altruistic sacrifice, that you're hurting poor people, injustice for that one person you love so much. It's not fair and it's not right. No one deserves to be hurt. And if you have to admit that you hurt those family members in front of that person you sacrificed all of them for, so be it. Get them all on camera. Do it all in front of everybody. Get real, get honest. If your child was 6 then and now is 20, tell them the real deal. I left Suzanne because I wanted to be with you and your mother, and I left her pregnant with your brother, and took their money and just walked out and ignored them and abandoned them. And she tried to reach out to me multiple times, and she had sent you presents for Christmas and birthdays, and she had done everything to reconnect with us as a family, but I shunned them for you. Because not only have you brought bad karma on yourself, you brought bad karma on the person you sacrificed the other people for. Maybe you sacrificed a group of people or family or children or whatever for one other person. Now that person is carrying karma with you, because all the resentment and pain and tears and suffering of a group of people, or a son or a daughter or a wife or whoever, their pain and tears and suffering was at the cost of that person. So that person is now carrying karma. If you left a son and an ex-girlfriend, let's just say, and you wanted to go work it out with your wife and child between you two in another marriage, and you never call her, take care of her, you abandon her, you abandon the child, you take no part in their life, but you're in and out. Let's say you show up every now and then. Let's say you show up for, you string them along. Say it's sexual favors. Say it's you're lonely. Say you want to see them when you want to see them, but in secret. It's just examples. And then you go off and live another life in public with your child and that other person. And this is all secret. Then don't think for 1 minute that that other spouse and child are also paying for your karma, because they got dragged into a karmic debt with you. Now they are going to suffer in some way. Not because they did anything wrong by choice, but because the energy from jealousy and sadness and pain and suffering because of the cost of them, they're paying for it in bad ways. Maybe your child struggles in school or with friends. Maybe the ex-wife, the ex-husband who was over here, you know, ends up leaving you, and you had a broken marriage and now they're hurt. I mean, there's so many things. Your friendships are ruined. Maybe their friendships are ruined. Maybe that spouse is embarrassed when things come out, and now their reputation is ruined at work or at church or friends or family members. You know, you've damaged so many lives by one choice because you weren't honest. So don't think it's just you that's paying for the karma, so are they. Look at the War of the Roses, for example. say children were killed, heirs to the throne were killed, so one person could take the throne. Does that wipe that person that took the throne clean because their mother or father killed off the other heirs? No, they suffer karmically. Why? Because there's still a war for the children that were killed, the rightful heirs. There's still a war against that king who had nothing to do with it because his mother, the queen, decided to kill off their heirs. So now there's a war between people that never even met and didn't even have any blood on their hands. But he's fighting the war. So believe me when I say this, whether you like it or not, you will carry this karma. And the people that you drag into the mud with you will also carry this karma. So I'm going to leave this here tonight and say this. If you want to clear your karma, you have to be righteous. And to be righteous is sometimes painful, but it is due. And it is called a sacrifice for a reason. You must sacrifice your own self to clear your karma. It's not anyone else's debt, it's yours. It's affecting you. It's affecting your life. You want to clear it up? This is the reading to show you how to clear it up. You don't want to clear it up? Don't clear it up. It's your choice. So that I'll leave you with that information, guys. I will end this reading. It has been longer than I wanted. You know what you guys have to do to clear your karma. I wish you the best of luck. If you did some kind of pain on someone and you reaped up bad karma, I'm so sorry. Really, I'm sorry you're suffering, but you did heap this on yourself. You know what you need to do. And if you want to just further help your life at this time, now's the time to make it right. And if you're cross-watching, I would suggest that you think about forgiveness because it is a two-way street. And we want to have a cleared karmic trail. We want to clear our karmic debts. We want to move on in our lives. We want to have abundance and happiness and joy. And it starts by being righteous and doing the right thing. So just trust your intuition, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was a good message for you. I saw someone say no kids are involved. That's fine. This is a general reading. It's not for everybody. I gave an example for people with kids and I gave an example for people without kids. So please take what resonates on that. The whole story is not for someone with kids. There was multiple messages here for single people as well. And the point is you have to make things right as much as you can. If you forwarded through this video, you might have missed some of those different examples. So I don't recommend you forwarding through videos because you may miss a message that answers the comment you commented on. So keep that in mind. Remember, guys, this is a journey, not a destination. Just keep swimming. You got this. You can clear karma. It's not easy, but it can be done. And for those of you that are the victim on the other foot here, it doesn't matter how many times you cry and how much you suffer. Karma comes back because you make your own karma. So make good ones. Make good decisions, seek out the good, call in the good, ask for the goodness that life has to offer. Forgive, not for them, but for you. And for those of you that need to ask for forgiveness, I really suggest you get on it or you're creating your own hell. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed, beautiful night, and goodbye.